What if anger was never your enemy, but your teacher, revealing the limits of your control? What if the man who never gets angry isn't emotionless, but infinitely aware? And what if true power lies not in reaction, but in the silence between stimulus and response? What has ever been gained by rage? A sword swung in anger cuts nothing but air. The man who moves in fury loses sight of rhythm, and rhythm is life itself. Musashi knew this truth. He faced death with an unshaken gaze while others burned in their own fires. Rage blinds the warrior to what lies before him. The enemy vanishes behind the smoke of pride, and in that blindness, defeat begins. The man who cannot see beyond his emotion cannot see the path before him. Anger promises power, but delivers confusion. It makes the hand heavy and the heart wild. Musashi wrote, "Do not act following customary beliefs. Custom teaches you to lash out, to strike when wounded, but the way teaches restraint. The warrior learns to let the fire burn itself out, to stand still until the smoke clears. When the storm passes, only the calm blade remains." He learned this in solitude on mountain paths, veiled in mist, carrying silence as armor. He found that emotions are traps, the bait of the weak. To strike from anger is to fight in chains. To respond with silence is to fight in freedom. The path to stillness begins where pride dies. Pride fuels the flame. Humility extinguishes it. To release anger is not to be passive. It is to be untouchable. The unshaken spirit moves unseen, unprovoked, unreadable. Anger is not power. It is weakness pretending to be strength. When you see this truth, you begin to master yourself. When you let the flame fade, you begin to see clearly. The way does not call for the loudest heart. It calls for the stillest one. In combat, fury reveals the man. It makes his rhythm easy to read, his strikes predictable. The calm opponent simply waits for the moment the fire overreaches and ends it. Musashi wrote in the Book of Five Rings, "Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. When anger clouds the spirit, you see only red. When stillness governs, you see rhythm itself. The breath between movements, the hesitation before a strike. To see without the eye is to sense the pattern of all things. The proud man burns quickly. Insult cuts him and he bleeds ego. The humble warrior endures the same insult and smiles, for he knows his worth does not come from words. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Every grievance is a chain. To let go is to be light." Musashi's strength was not in the blade, but in his silence. When the enemy shouted, he did not answer. When they taunted, he did not flinch. Silence itself became a weapon. In that stillness, he could feel the rhythm others missed. Rage deafens. Stillness hears everything. Pride says, "I must prove myself." The way says, "There is nothing to prove." The calm blade cuts deeper than the wild swing. The silent heart endures longer than the loud one. To be calm in battle is to already have won. Discipline is the sword that cuts through fury, not suppression, but mastery. Suppression hides anger. Discipline transforms it. Each morning of practice, each strike in solitude, each breath in silence, Musashi forged clarity where others found fire. Generally speaking, the way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death. Why does this matter? Because anger is born of fear. Fear of loss, of humiliation, of death itself. The man who accepts death fears nothing, and a man without fear cannot be provoked. Musashi trained his spirit as he trained his sword. Through repetition, his emotions lost their grip. There is no anger in rhythm, only focus. Each motion became meditation. Each duel a mirror of his own mind. He taught, "Do not let the enemy see your spirit. Anger is spirit revealed, weakness displayed. To master anger is to master concealment. The enemy sees only calm. Beneath it, perfect readiness. The disciplined warrior does not react. He responds, not with haste, but with precision. Not with pride, but with purpose. The hand moves when the heart is still. This is not coldness, it is control. When insult strikes, let it pass. When chaos calls, remain silent." You are the mountain, and storms are nothing but passing clouds. Musashi's solitude was his temple. He walked alone, not out of hatred, but to guard his peace. He owned little, expected less, and thus could not be broken. He was free not because the world was kind, but because he no longer required it to be. He wrote, "Do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling. Anger is always partial, a fragment of truth wrapped in illusion. The whole man sees beyond it. The fractured man becomes it. The world will insult you. It will betray you. It will deny your worth. But if your blade trembles, you have already surrendered. Stand as stone, breathe as wind, move as water. Let the world's fire burn. It cannot touch what does not burn back. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. When these die, anger has nowhere to live. When anger dies, you become untouchable. The truth is simple. Anger is noise. Mastery is silence." The warrior's victory is not over his enemies, but over himself. To never be moved by anger is to stand beyond defeat. Walk as Musashi did, a blade drawn in silence, a mountain untouched by storms, a spirit that does not bend. To master anger is not to kill emotion, but to transcend it. It is to see the flame and choose not to burn. The world will always provoke, test, and attempt to pull you into chaos, but stillness is your final rebellion. The calm man sees what the furious man cannot. He sees timing, truth, and opportunity hidden beneath the noise. He does not fight emotion, he refines it into clarity. In a world addicted to outrage, your calm is revolution. So walk the way of Musashi, not cold, but composed. Not detached, but deliberate. When you feel the spark of anger rise, let it become awareness. Let every insult be a reminder of your strength. Let silence be your sharpest blade. For mastery is not about never feeling the fire, it's about becoming the man who decides when and if it burns.